Good morning. Today is Thursday, September 7th, 2023. Several years ago, Irwin Cotler gave one of the most important and moving speeches of his long and illustrious career. He was awarded an honorary degree from the McGill Faculty of Law. It was an incredible speech. In one section of that speech, he spoke about his role models, his parents. He said his father taught him to pursue justice. According to Jewish tradition, the pursuit of justice is equal to all of the other commandments. But his mother taught him, if you want to pursue justice, you have to understand and feel the injustice around you. You have to feel the injustice and combat the injustice. Otherwise, the pursuit of justice will remain just a theoretical abstraction. The Jewish legal system is a jewel of Judaism and of the Jewish people, one of our greatest contributions to world civilization. And Rashi, the famous medieval commentator, makes an astounding statement. Jewish law sets out the requirements for judges, and these requirements have been, in different ways, emulated by every subsequent legal system. To be appointed, a judge must be wise and learned, have an outstanding character and reputation. A judge must be independent and totally free from any conflict of interest. But Rashi says it is not just the judgments of such judges that bring honor and merit to the Jewish people. Rashi says the appointment of judges of this caliber, even before they have judged a case, the appointment itself brings merit to the Jewish people. We who choose such role models, because who we choose as role models, who we look up to and respect, that is critical to our moral and spiritual standing. In the coming days, we will consider how to make our lives more purposeful in the new Jewish year, how to live a more meaningful life, a life of which we can be proud next Rosh Hashanah. And the first step of that is to consider who are our role models. Who will we try to emulate and respect in the coming year? And there is more and more competition for our attention these days. More and more publicity for those who are divisive and crude and malevolent. Choosing the right role model is more important than ever before and requires more discernment than ever before. In the previous generation, there were two outstanding Torah leaders, Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky and Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, both outstanding scholars and teachers and leaders. Rabbi Yaakov was several years older than Rabbi Moshe. Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky once said to his students, "Do you know why Rabbi Moshe is greater than me? It's because he never leans back in his chair when he is praying. He always sits on the edge." Okay, so let's unpack that comment. First, note the humility of a truly great leader who assumes that someone his junior is in fact greater than him, a statement that objectively many would dispute. But next, note the two insights about prayer. Meaningful prayer comes from an awareness of being in God's presence and speaking directly to God, an awareness that does not allow for relaxation or comfort, but rather for alacrity and emotion. During prayer, we should not be sitting comfortably with our legs crossed, leaning back as if we were watching television. We should never be seeking a comfortable chair for prayer. That's an essential element to what prayer is, being on the edge of our seat in order to meaningfully engage with God. And engaging in meaningful, heartfelt prayer is an essential component of authentic Jewish leadership. But here's the main point. Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky, as great as he was always looking to others as his role model. He was, excuse me. He was always looking at what he could learn from others to make himself better. When he was with Rav Moshe, he watched how the younger man prayed in order to learn how to do it better himself. The right role model is key for everyone. And like Rabbi Yaakov, we should constantly be searching for those to emulate and respect. And let's remember, while we should be searching for the right role model to emulate and respect, there are others watching us, learning from us. This is a true story. Rabbi Chaim Kahan was flying from San Francisco to his home in Denver when the pilot made the announcement that every one of us fears the most. The pilot said, "The hydraulic system of our plane has failed. We will attempt an emergency landing. Please brace yourselves for a crash landing and please pray." There was chaos among the passengers. And Rabbi Kahan did what a Jew does when faced with the terror of imminent death. He recited the vidui, the confession of sins, in order to return his soul to God in a state of purity. And he recited the Shema, Shema Yisrael. And he did this with great emotion, and with great faith, and with great calm. The plane began its descent, and miraculously, and due to the incredible skill of the pilot, it landed with a slight bump. Everyone was safe. No one was harmed or injured, and cheers erupted from the grateful passengers. As everyone moved to exit the plane, a steward asked Rabbi Kahan to wait a moment before leaving. The crew gathered and said to him, "Rabbi, we want to tell you something. During this entire ordeal, when we thought we all might die, the passengers looked to us, the staff, looked to us for strength. And Rabbi, we looked to you." My grandfather used to say, everyone can be a role model. Some are an example of how to act, and some are an example of how not to act. So here's another story, a very different airplane story. A man went on a business trip, and he reserved an aisle seat. And it was very important to him that he got the aisle seat. So he called back the airline to confirm that he had the aisle seat. And he checked online that he had an aisle seat. And finally, when he got on the plane and he checks his boarding pass, to his horror, he sees that he has a window seat. And he is furious. He is outraged. He comes home and his wife asks him, "Why are you so upset?" And he starts yelling, "I reserved the aisle seat. I confirmed the aisle seat. The chutzpah. I want the person who made this mistake to be fired. I'm going to sue the airline. They have no right being in business the way they treated me, giving me a window seat instead of an aisle seat." So his wife says to him, "Why didn't you ask the person in the aisle seat to switch with you?" And the man says, "I couldn't. The aisle seat next to me was empty." Don't choose him as a role model. Choose the right role model and have a happy and sweet and purposeful New Year. Shana Tova. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.